Ulm Minster is a Lutheran church located in Ulm, Germany. Although sometimes referred to as Ulm Cathedral because of its great size, the church is not a cathedral as it has never been the seat of a bishop, though the towers and all decorative elements are of stone masonry, attracting attention of the visitors. Most of the walls, including the facades of the nave and choir, actually consist of visible brick. Therefore, the building is sometimes referred to as a brick church. As far as this goes, it lays claim to the third largest rank, after San Petronio Basilica in Bologna and Frauenkirche in Munich, but before St. Mary's Church in Gdansk. Ulm Minster, like Cologne Cathedral, was begun in the Gothic era but not completed until the late 19th century. It is the tallest church in the world, and the fourth tallest structure built before the 20th century, with a steeple measuring 161.5 meters and containing 768 steps. For the top level at 143 meters there is a panoramic view of Ulm in Baden-Württemberg and Ulm in Bavaria, and, in clear weather, a vista of the Alps from Santias to the Zugspitze. The final stairwell to the top is a tall, spiraling staircase that has barely enough room for one person. History and architecture. Construction in the 14th century. The parish church of Ulm was located outside the walled city. The burghers of Ulm decided to erect a new church within the perimeters of the city and to finance the costs of the erection. In 1377 the foundation stone was laid. The church was to have 3 naves of equal height, a main spire on the west and 2 steeples above the choir. In 1392 Ulrich Ensinger was appointed master builder. It was his plan to make the western church tower the tallest spire, which it remains in the present day. The church, consisting of the longitudinal naves and the choir, covered by a temporary roof, was consecrated in 1405. However, structural damage, caused by the height of the naves and the weight of the heavy vaulting, necessitated a reconstruction of the lateral naves, which were supported by a row of additional columns in the center. In a referendum in 1531, the citizens of Ulm converted to Protestantism during the Reformation. Ulm Minster became a Lutheran church. Although as large as many cathedrals, Ulm is not a cathedral, as the responsible bishop of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Württemberg, member of the Evangelical Church in Germany, resides in Stuttgart. In 1543, construction work was halted at a time when the steeple had reached a height of some 100 meters. The halt in the building process was caused by a variety of factors which were political and religious as well as economic. One result was economic stagnation and a steady decline, preventing major public expenditure. In 1817 work resumed and the 3 steeples of the church were completed. Finally, on the 31st of May 1890 the building was completed. World War II. A devastating air raid hit Ulm on the 17th of December 1944, which destroyed virtually the entire town west of the church to the railway station and north of the church up to the outskirts. The church itself was barely damaged. However, almost all the other buildings of the town square were severely hit and some 80% of the medieval center of Ulm was destroyed. Works of art. Late medieval sculptures include the tympanum of the main western entrance depicts scenes from the Genesis. The central column bears a sculpture, The Man of Sorrows, by the local master Hans Mulcher. The 15th century choir stalls by Jörg Silent, made from oak and adorned with hundreds of carved busts, are among the most famous pews of the Gothic period. The pulpit canopy is by Jörg Silent the Younger. The original main altar was destroyed by the iconoclasts of the Reformation. The current altarpiece from the early 16th century is a triptych showing figures of the Holy Family and the Last Supper in the predella. The 5 stained glass windows of the apse, which is in the form of half a decagon, show biblical scenes and go back to the 14th and 15th century. The main organ of the church was destroyed by iconoclasts and replaced in the late 16th century. In 1763, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is known to have played it. For some decades it was the largest organ in existence. In the late 1960s it was reconstructed to solve acoustic problems of reverberation. In 1877, the Jewish congregation of the Synagogue of Ulm, including Hermann Einstein, the father of Albert Einstein, donated money for a statue of the biblical prophet Jeremiah. The figure was placed below the main organ. Later renovations in the modern era added gargoyles and a sculpture, The Beggar, by the expressionist Ernst Barlach. Gallery, works of art. Plan. Measurements. The height of the steeple is 161.53 meters. Ulm Minster is the world's tallest church. The church has a length of 123.56 meters and a width of 48.8 meters. The building area is approximately 8,260 square meters. The height of the central nave is 41.6 meters, whilst the lateral naves are 20.55 meters high. The volume of the edifice is some 190,000 cubic meters. The weight of the main steeple is estimated at 51,500 tons. The church seats a congregation of 2,000. In the Middle Ages, before pews were introduced, it could accommodate 20,000 people, when the population of the town was about 5,000.